Okay. All right, we're gonna go ahead.
Yes.
There we go. All right, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order.
Let's be hypocritical.
Welcome everybody to the November Tourism Board meeting. We have a light crowd, but we have a quorum. So we will go ahead and get started. We'll review the agenda briefly and then we'll make any updates. So approval of agenda obviously is the first thing. So and approval of the minutes.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
There is one change though real quick to the agenda. There's a resolution modification discussion that Shannon would like to bring up.
Yes.
And so we would like to add that to the agenda before the director's report.
Is this part of the minutes?
Under new.
No, I don't.
under
Oh,
new
I'm sorry, we
business.
still haven't got a minutes. Okay, agenda.
Yep,
David,
Gotcha.
under new business or?
that will be under new business. There's a resolution modification, so. Any other items before we,
I'll second the approval of the agenda.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? All right, very good. Okay, so let's take a look at the minutes. Has anybody had a chance to review the minutes? Yeah, okay.
We're good.
All right, do we have a motion to
I
approve?
make a motion to approve.
All right, and do we have, I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, okay, any opposed? All right, very good. So the minutes are approved. We have no public for public comment. So we will move to the next item. We had 3 candidates selected for the executive director position. I got a call from one of them saying that she's no longer interested. She called about that. So she's not here. And then our
Which one
second,
was that?
that was Lisa Battles. And then Ingrid is not here. So we will move to Mark Efros doing his presentation.
Did she call Ted?
No, but I've been texting with her. And
And
so she knew that it was today, and she said that she would be here, so.
Did you want to do the resolution before the executive
We could
director
do
or
that.
after?
We can, I guess the next question is if.
Oh, before, you said, I'm sorry, before the director's report. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, before the director's report, we'll do that. I guess the question is if there are no other candidates here, is it necessary for Mark to present again? For us to make a motion?
I mean, if, my question is if she shows up in the next 5 minutes or 10 minutes, because we'll be talking about other things. Do we, I mean, traffic.
So I agree with that. However, like if I'm interviewing somebody in a real career setting and they didn't show up or weren't on time, then that's automatically a no for me. So usually if you're interested, you're here. And I did give her information about when to be here. I said, please try to be here 10 to 15 minutes early.
Mhm.
I will greet you. I've been here since 3:30, so.
Yeah, so you're right here.
I mean, I don't have an opinion on the matter. That is my opinion. So if you guys would prefer to wait and give her time to show up, that's fine.
And do the,
I'll make a motion to do the resolution talk, and then we'll.
And then we'll see,
Yes,
what
yes,
it
then
looks like.
yes.
move it
Very
up.
good.
Yeah,
Okay.
move it up.
I second that.
Yeah, I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
All right, very good. So we will go ahead and move to discussing the resolution.
So in our resolution, it says, and I'm sorry I didn't bring copies for everyone. I had the staff, the law director, not the law director, the staff attorney, change this in our organization where, and I don't have the exact wording, but the 4 citizens and 4 commissioners shall be appointed by the county commission. And then when you get to letter C, it says 1 member from a city chamber within Sumner County to be rotated every city by year, beginning with White House, and we have Mandy from White House, and then on to Westmoreland. And I don't know if I didn't get the request in the committee on committee soon enough or not, but since they're only here for 1-year terms, I'm going to ask that legislative pass to the floor, that which term shall be automatically proceed to the city. So that they will not be voted on. They won't have to go through committee on committees, and they won't be voted on by the full county legislative body.
It would just be the legislative committee would vote on them and they'd come on, is that?
They
It
would just
just-
automatically
it would
It'd be
start.
automatically go to
Just
the
by
commission.
virtue
Right.
of their
Well,
position?
No,
No.
the
It
commission
wouldn't
won't
go
vote on
anywhere.
them at all.
It would say
It'd be
that-
automatic.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Automatic.
that's reasonable.
And Stephen's language was much more, beautiful than
Yeah.
mine is.
Flowery.
But yes, because we knew when Mandy was leaving in July that Tracy Cannon, I think she said your name, so we knew Tracy should be coming on. So that will clean up everything.
Because it
without-
specifies in there who it ought to be.
Right, it
yeah,
does. It's an order.
Yeah.
It provides an order which
And-
chamber it
Sure.
is.
Yes,
So I agree. So just to recap, what you're proposing is that we modify this language to designate a seat for a member of the Chamber of Commerce, and that's in perpetuity, and
Right.
it will automatically rotate without requiring a vote from commission or
Right.
commissions or going through.
Yeah, because
the
it goes to
normal-
committee on committees and one member of the committee doesn't like somebody, they could, they could cause all kinds
Well,
of
it's
stir,
just,
so.
it's chamber is a
Yeah.
tourism process,
Sure.
so I think it's kind of,
It should automatically.
it's
I-
not like,
and it's not, I'm just letting y'all know that this is going to go, this is on the legislative agenda as it is now.
Yep.
It may not make the hurdle of legislative agenda, but this will hopefully come to the floor this month.
Good,
And
good.
I know that Tracy's on committee on committees for this month.
okay,
I
yeah,
heard.
I mean, I can articulate that
Yeah.
for her, but
Yeah.
it clears it up, I think
Right.
it clears it up and.
And it's less work for y'all, and
Sure.
you don't have to know the terms.
And it, for future reference in the future with other commissions, it won't be such a daunting to kind of figure out what happened. But the chamber is a little bit of a different story, so.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's
It
a
seems like
designated
kind of a silly
spot.
step for
Yeah.
somebody, it's
Correct.
not, it's a position that's,
Yeah.
the
not-
person just happens to be occupying that position.
Yeah, it's a position, not a person that's been
Yeah.
on there, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Okay, sounds
Very
good.
good. Okay. So it sounds like we need to.
Nothing.
No,
No,
So this was just, this
Okay.
was just an FYI.
information.
All right, so
Okay.
there we go. All right, very good. All right.
Thank you.
Then we will move to the next item on our agenda, which is interviews. It looks like Ingrid has arrived, so we can move back to that. What I will do is ask the candidates to step out of the room. And actually Ingrid, you can go ahead and stay because you'll be the first person presenting. And we'll go ahead and close the door.
So are you Tracy? I'm Baker Ring. Okay, nice to meet you.
Executive Director for this one.
Westmoreland Chamber,
All right.
wonderful.
So Ingrid, if you want to come on over. So y'all have Ingrid's resume and you've had a chance to review it. Ingrid is the first candidate and we will, so Ingrid, 5 to 10 minutes to present and then questions from the group and then you'll be excused and then we'll.
Okay, great.
All right, very good.
Kind of wrote some notes because I feel like there were a lot of things that I wanted to cover.
Sure.
So if you don't mind, I'll kind of go from there.
Yeah.
Just in here.
Yep, that's, yeah.
Okay, so great. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to present today. I was really kind of surprised to get the call, so that was wonderful news. I wanted to really take some thoughtful time to present my vision and qualifications for the executive director role for Sumner County Tourism. Currently, I think you know my name is Ingrid Corey-Maggie. I am the head of strategy and one of the partners for a company called Campfire. We're a digital marketing company. I applied for this position after I participated in last year's cohort of Leadership Sumner County, which is interesting. Last month we did travel and tourism, so I was in the tourism office. So it's like, oh, hi, how you doing? I'm here. So I was really fortunate to be introduced to what makes Sumner County amazing. And I think the one thing that really struck me is that when I moved here almost exactly 2 years ago, this was the first place that we felt like home in a really long time. And my husband and I have traveled to New York. We've been to a lot of different places. We lived in Louisville. I was actually part of the Louisville leadership cohort there, and then also worked for Louisville Visitor and Convention Bureau as an agency partner. So when I got here, it was like, wow, this is really welcoming. What an amazing place. And through Leadership Summer, I was able to see, here are all the great places that we have, not only as a tourist destination, but also as a place to call home. And I really firmly believe that our residents can be our biggest cheerleaders, and making sure that when people ask, hey, what is there to do in Nashville, that we also include Sumner County in those kind of responses. And those are things that I do. So I think about those types of things when I consider tourism here. The other thing that was kind of interesting is Leadership Summer. I don't know if you're familiar with the program. They talk about servant leadership, and there really wasn't an avenue for me to do anything to support tourism other than say, hey, come to Sumner County, this is fantastic. Have you seen this? Have you seen that? But what it does is it encourages you to get involved, and I think the most passionate day that I had was tourism. I got in there, I'm like, oh, we could do so many awesome things. So I think that's when I saw the posting, I was like, yep, I'm throwing my name in the hat. So on the sidebar there, I have a section that says what I do, and I wanted to address some of those key highlights of what those things are and how those might parlay into a travel and tourism support. So if you can indulge me on that one. I bring a lot of experience in developing successor strategies, communication plans, and consumer roadmaps. You know, that skill, I think, is invaluable for Sumner County as we look to strengthen the brand, attract visitors, enhance the overall tourism experience. And my approach to that strategy is kind of twofold. First, I always focus on the understanding of those unique assets and characteristics of each client. And I think of a client as what we have here as one of our assets, one of our locations, one of our attractions, if you will, that make this area unique. So what I bring to the table with that is that I've got firsthand experience with creating experiences in fast food concepts with young brands. We actually are mindful about what your experience is in the drive-through, when you come in, what your wayfinding is, all of those types of things. I was a global retail trends strategist for young brands for across all those concepts. And the other thing I have history with is distilleries, including Woodford Reserve and their Woodford Reserve. It is sort of Woodford Reserve, where we actually, my agency created the whole entire pathing for folks to come in, the videos, all of the tours, any kind of branding function around that. And we also did that for near-premise destinations, including Bardstown, Kentucky, and Cave City. So if you actually noticed some new branding for Cave City, Kentucky, that was my agency. Secondly, I also apply a data-driven, consumer-centric mindset to all of those strategies that drive growth and engagement. I'm really hands-on in that. I have several tools that are at my disposal currently. There are lots of other tools. I think once you have that mentality, you can use any kind of tool, so none of those frighten me. For Sumner County, I believe that means crafting a comprehensive tourism roadmap that outlines seasonal campaigns, highlights key attractions, targets specific visitor personas from families and outdoor enthusiasts to cultural travelers and history buffs. All of those things are really important, especially if you talk about them in their lane. I'm confident that we can capture the attention of diverse audiences that increase visitation to the county. The other piece that I believe that I do better than a lot of people is that I manage a lot of people. I've managed a lot of money. I've managed larger campaigns for Humana. It was a $50 million campaign that I had to spend. I also had 35 people. I've also managed 4 people and $10,000. So the budget to me is what can we do with what we have and how do we make the best out of that? Where do we need to grow? How does that become a payment for itself? I've experienced directing complex campaigns that require careful coordination across multiple teams, stakeholders, and timelines. My management style is centered on clear communication, accountability, and adaptability, and I think those are qualities essential in this role. Especially if we're talking about a large range of partners, stakeholders, not only the people, the clients, the assets themselves, but also you all that are holding the budget and the people of the community. As we promote Sumner County, there'll be both large-scale campaigns and everyday initiatives to manage. I'm confident in my ability to handle both of those. I'm experienced in balancing high-level planning and hands-on management. I am not afraid to get my hands dirty. I don't ask my staff to do anything that I don't myself understand how to do. I'm experienced in, I want to make sure everything runs smoothly, and I'm comfortable adjusting tactics as needed. If we see that something's not working, let's fail fast. Make adjustments and move forward. My expertise in startup brand development, brand refreshes, and digital media strategy position me to guide Sumner County in defining and refreshing its unique brand identity. If we choose to do that, I have done that for cities. I have done that for entities. I'm very comfortable in understanding what that means. The brand is not just a logo or a tagline. The brand is the story and the experience that we deliver, and I think that's a very important distinction. With digital media strategy, I can increase brand visibility across social media, paid advertising, content marketing, ensuring we reach potential visitors on the platforms that they use most. I think that's also very important. We have to understand the personas that we're talking to and make sure that we're using the right tools at the right time for those folks. And this is not different than any other marketing campaign for any other product. My goal with all of that would be to help Sumner County establish itself as a dynamic destination known for its culture, history, natural beauty, and welcoming community spirit, which I have experienced firsthand. Content is at the heart of effective marketing, and I have deep experience in content strategy, planning, and optimization in today's digital world. Storytelling is how we capture attention, engage audiences, and inspire action. I would leverage this experience to tell Sumner County's story in a way that's compelling and relatable to various audiences. Not everybody needs to hear the same thing, but it all needs to be a consistent story. In content strategy, my approach to content starts with data, analyzing visitor demographics, online behavior, and travel trends to create content that resonates. This could mean developing social media content around seasonal events, blogs featuring local attractions, or video content that showcases the unique experiences available here. Content optimization ensures that our efforts are effective. Through search engine optimization best practices, A/B testing, performance tracking, I can continually refine our approach to maximize reach and engagement. Again, these are not new things to marketing. These are things that should be happening across the board. Another key area of my expertise is customer experience strategy, especially for digital products aimed at increasing usage and retention. A seamless, engaging experience is essential for visitor satisfaction, and digital platforms are often the first point of contact between visitors and Sumner County. For example, enhancing the user experience on the Sumner County Tourism website could encourage visitors to explore our resources, plan longer stays, and discover more local attractions. I would consider interactive tools such as itinerary builder, hidden gems tool that would create personalized experience that help visitors make the most of their time here. They can plan everything in advance, know where they're going, plug it into Waze, and be here. The leadership piece in here I feel is really important, and strategic leadership is about looking ahead and ensuring that every decision we make supports our long-term vision. My experience with ideation, competitive analysis, and roadmap development allow me to anticipate trends, identify opportunities, and keep our organization moving forward. I would conduct regular interviews of nearby tourism destinations to understand what we're competing against and where our unique opportunities lie. I'm a big proponent of staycations and shopping where you live. I want to know not only what these things are myself, but also when somebody comes in from the outside, or what the other destinations are around us that could be stealing potential visitors from our area. I'm passionate about creative brainstorming and coming up with fresh, innovative ideas, whether it's new event series, partnerships with local businesses, or a themed tourism campaign. I'm always exploring ways to drive growth. I often find that the best ideas come from the most unlikely sources. So I like to include folks with varying backgrounds. I always include people not in marketing because they always give me some really interesting nuggets. Finally, my expertise in analytics and data interpretation would allow me to make informed strategic decisions based on actual performance metrics. Data is a powerful tool, especially in tourism where trends, preferences, and consumer behaviors can shift quickly. By implementing analytics dashboards, tracking campaign performance, and interpreting the results, I can maximize every dollar invested to deliver measurable ROI, and that brings us closer to our objectives. I think that's critically important. In conclusion, I bring a comprehensive skill set that combines strategic vision, hands-on management, and a data-driven approach to drive growth and engagement. I'm really excited about the opportunity to apply these skills to help Sumner County tourism flourish. My commitment to authentic storytelling, dedication to consumer experience, and emphasis on high-quality content will ensure that we attract more visitors and build a loyal community of people who feel a solid connection to Sumner County. We need to be our biggest cheerleaders. Thank you for your time and consideration. I'm ready to lead Sumner County's tourism initiatives with passion, expertise, and a strategic focus on our growth. I have local professional references should you require them. Thank you.
Any questions from the group?
I have a question.
Absolutely.
Some of, you're very talented, actually. With the Sumner County Board of Tourism, you know, it is a lot of the analytics and a lot of the marketing and all that.
Mhm.
Small group of people, it's kind of almost like a family. But how do you go from a large group of people to a small group of people and kind of, you know, when you're over a lot of people, you're kind of up here and they're out here. So in your kind of your leadership, it's almost a simple thing, but how would you deal with like almost that family personality things that may come up, you know, that I call like in a small, I had an office where I only had 3 people. And when, you know, we had to work with people or counsel people, things like that. What is kind of a way that you would do that versus a large, because I know you probably dealt with HR and things like that, and you didn't have that HR internal into this. So how
Sure.
would you deal with some of those things in respect to that?
So I am in a partnership with 3 other people, 3 other A-level personalities. So through the partnership, I realize as you get to be an adult over time, you just have to work things out. Sometimes you fight in the parking lot and you make it work, or you sit down and just have an educated conversation about things. So from a partner perspective, I got that. Our shop right now is 9 people. So I think that's roughly the staff of what is here. So I have managed giant teams, which I thought was great, and I have managed small teams. And I think I mentioned this in the past. I don't ask people to do things that I don't understand. That technical SEO piece, I do that. I went ahead and certified myself in technical SEO. I don't recommend that to anyone. It is one of the more boring things that you can do in your life. However, super important to content, and I love developing content. I love to tell those stories. So how do you make the Google understand what's really important about that story? And then when it needs to be told to that right person, how do you get the Google to do that? My husband works for Google, so it's really a funny story that way. So those are the types of things that I do. I am hands-on in dashboards. If we get a new dashboard, I gotta know how it works. That person is out, I need to step in to be able to work it. So I don't care. Large or small, it's fine. Makes no difference.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Can you give us an example of where you needed to leverage data and analytics to make a decision? Like, very specific example, what was the situation? Where did you have a gap in data, and what did you use to fill it, and what did you actually use to make the decision? What was the outcome of that decision based on the data you were using?
So at a company called Accent Marketing, MDC company, that's one of the pieces in there, we were a pay-for-performance model agency, which means that if we didn't convert people, we didn't get paid. So we used some high-level data. We actually used Experian data, which would be all of everyone's data all over the place, and used a tool called Tableau, where we would actually create those likely pockets of people that we would need to market to based on the actual written story personas. So I'm going to find you, you're a Target shopper, you also only get gas at Thornton's. You know, you shop at Kroger versus Aldi or versus Publix, and created that type of information. We actually sold and marketed the dreaded extended warranty plans. So how did we add that extra data? We had to actually physically create those written personas. Those were things that Experian and that data wouldn't necessarily tell you, right? You had to go through and create who we thought were our prime customers. And if that didn't work in this zip code, or if we knew something in that zip code, what would be something interesting that we saw that was specific in Atlanta, Georgia, that might be different in Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina? So how do we make what looks like a same person and identify those pieces? And sometimes that was trial and error. Sometimes that was just reading about the area and trying to figure out what little nuance there was that we had to do that. So sometimes it was just boots on the ground research to make those changes. So I don't know if that's a good enough example, but it's probably a larger example.
Can you just give us an example? You talked earlier about helping smaller fast food chains. Can you talk to us about a specific client? What was the issue that you were working on, and what was the specific strategy that you developed to help them, and what type of growth did they see based on that?
So fast food, this is KFC, Taco Bell. They were not small franchisees. These are multi-million-dollar franchisees.
Okay.
But on a smaller scale, just recently I worked with a company called Jack Nutrition, and they were a nutrition, prepackaged nutrition based on a set of macros that people were trying to establish. So you'd figure out your macros, and they would create meals for you and then set these meal plans. What we did for them is create not only their brand visibility, but then also the packaging, how people would go onto the website and figure out their macros, because I didn't know what a macro was. I should, but I didn't. But give me an education of how that macro can be translated from a fitness perspective to a layperson's understanding of that. How I could then use the calculator that we created for them, and here are the kind of calories that I want, here's my weight loss that I'm trying to do, and then work through that. So it was really the online tool that actually allowed them to compete with much larger folks, kind of like Focus Factor, which is one that they're competing with, because their ingredients were far more natural and organic. That was kind of their pitch versus Focus Factor. So we used that in content development, and they were able to really hold their own and grow, and they're based in Lexington, Kentucky.
All right, well, very good. Well, hey, thank you so much for
Thank you for
coming
having
in.
me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Lovely to meet you all.
All right, great.
Interesting last names. Looks Finnish. I used to live in Princeton, Michigan, where there are a lot of Finlanders, so I can sometimes pick out a Finnish name, you know.
I was not thinking Finnish, I was thinking sushi.
Sushi.
All right, I don't think I need to introduce Mark, I think you all know him. So 5 to 10 minutes, and then questions.
I want to take a different approach, I think, today, since you all have been working with me now since June 15th and seen what I can do. Something we've never talked about is how to measure the success of our efforts and my leadership, I guess, if you want to call it that. And so I'd like to talk briefly about that. I brought a few notes just to cheat. But, you know, traditionally we measure things like hotel motel tax, obviously, social media reach, things like that, but those can be impacted by a lot of other factors, things like economy and, you know, COVID-19, things like that. We do have an impact on them, obviously, but there are other factors as well. So that's not the best way to measure our success. And so there's a concept called attribution, which is interesting. It's how many people actually look at our digital advertising, our social media, and then end up actually in the county at some point. And that's an important tracking number. And as a result of the things that we put in place, we can find that number now. We didn't have that ability before. But using our Zardico technology that we have now, we can actually track when somebody hits our website or when somebody looks at one of our ads, and then find out when they come into the county and what they do once they're here. And so that's really important. Another thing is to measure the return on our advertising. Prior to my arrival, a lot of our advertising was just a beautiful half-page ad that mentioned Sumner County in a print magazine or something like that digitally. This year, every advertisement we put out there has a tracking mechanism on it, whether it's a QR code or some other way of doing it, so that we know how many people are actually looking at these things, and then following through again through Zardico, we can identify if they've eventually come into the county. So we can measure the impact of every piece of advertising that we spend money on. And I think that's important and it had to be changed. Another one is stakeholder feedback. I just want you to know, and you may have picked up on some of this over the reports we've done, but I've met with Governor Lee 3 times now. I've met with Mark Ezell 3 times, the State Commissioner of Tourism. I've met with the tourism leaders in the surrounding counties, all of them from Cookville all the way around. I can't even name all the counties yet, but, and we've all met on multiple occasions. I have had dinner with representatives with John Rose's office. Had dinner with them last week, actually, and our representative in Washington. And I think who else? Wendy, our new president down at the college, met with her, with all the community leaders, with Mayor Page. Had lots of conversations over a lot of things, and you're going to see some of those in the report if you haven't already read it. So I want you to know that when it comes to stakeholders, everybody from you to the leaders of the community to the citizens of the community, we have reached out, we've been involved, and I've been very active in the short period of time that I've been in place to make an impact in all those areas and to let them know what we're doing and to get them excited about it. And I think that we've made great success there. Another one is brand perception. I think it's important that we identify what is unique about our county and market that. And because we're in competition with other counties. We want the business coming out of Nashville. We know that we're not on most occasions going to attract somebody from California just to come to Sumner County on their own. There are those rare occasions because they have family here or something like that, but we know that we have to piggyback some of the other destinations in our area. So we are targeting that actively. And so our branding is to, and you're going to see this, I brought a video to show you later, our new direction of how we're going with this, but it's really to put the best of what we have out there and to make us stand out from our competition. Financial efficiency is another area. We have been very fiscally responsible since I took charge of things. We got all of our grant money that we wanted and then some. We have got the budget passed the way it needed to be. Thank you to you that helped with that. We have kept our spending in line. We have had an audit and completed that and satisfied the state requirements for an audit, and you'll have those results soon. And so fiscally, we're very responsible. And I think that's important. And with Valerie's help there, we have really followed all the rules and made sure that nothing is questionable or out of line. And I think that's important. And the last one, I think the one maybe I'm best at, is innovation. I'm a big picture person. I can see what's out there. I'm staying on the cutting edge. In fact, next week, not next week, right after Thanksgiving, I'm scheduled to go to a conference in Georgia that's all about tourism and the latest technology that's coming out using artificial intelligence and other things, so that we stay on top of that and ahead of the game here in this county. And we've been very innovative. We've put on events to start to increase the attraction for the arts here. In the coming year, we plan to host a grand opening of a movie right here in Gallatin. It's got several Hollywood stars in it, and I'll talk about that in the report. We're looking into a concept about dark tourism, which is scary at first, but it's not. And it is the fastest growing segment of tourism in the country right now, so we need to pay attention to it. We are looking at every possible way that we as a county can increase our tourism. And we're trying to do that from a big picture standpoint. And again, you'll see more of that in the report tonight. But I just want to share with you, those are some good ways to measure success. And I feel like we have been successful under my leadership since the day I got here. I put a team together very quickly. As some of you have said, I hit the ground running. And I don't think that was necessarily expected, but I hope that I've pleased you with the efforts I've made, and I'd like to keep doing that. Questions?
I don't have any questions. I think you've done a great job.
I guess you'll explain dark tourism to us later.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear about it.
Yes.
It's, yeah.
Are we gonna get in trouble if we vote for it?
All right, so no questions then. All right.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
How are the staff melding? How is it all working?
Valerie, what do you think?
I think it's great.
Yeah,
I
we
think we're a
work
great
so
team.
well together.
Yeah. Great team.
Most of the big decisions are made as a group. Of course, I make the final decision, but I get everybody's input. We really don't have any lines, in the sense we do have responsibilities, but those lines blur very quickly. And we've included Valerie in almost everything we do, so that she's just another voice, another opinion. And everybody that comes into the office senses that. There's a camaraderie, we have fun, we get a lot of work done. This video I'm going to show you just literally we talked about it last week, it got posted this morning, and within 1 hour had 500 views. I mean, we are on it.
Is it like a reel on
Yeah.
Facebook kind of thing?
Yeah.
Maddie mentioned several months ago about doing reels.
We're doing several a week, and I just had an audit that was performed by the, I don't know what agency, it's some federal agency under Department of Commerce, I can't keep track of them all. But they did an audit of our website, and they said we have the best website in the state. And there are things we can do to improve it, and our ranking could be even higher, but we are really just smoking it. And they said our Instagram presence, which is one of the big ones, is outstanding. What we need to improve on, and now we know, is YouTube, which we're working on. And we're diving into Pinterest, and we're going to be everywhere. And we're having a good time with it, and we're doing it basically for free. So it's really.
If you're on Pinterest, you need to emphasize the wedding venues.
Yeah. Oh, and the dark.
I asked, when I was driving for Uber, I asked somebody at one time, I said, why are you having your bachelorette party in Nashville? Oh, it's on Pinterest, everybody is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we've got
are.
some beautiful wedding venues. I drive by one on the way.
Oh, yeah, they're really nice wedding
Yeah,
venues.
so, yeah, we're always looking for we're having to educate our population that there's a lot of tourism opportunity here that they haven't taken advantage of. And that's, some of this dark tourism has to do with that. We've got a lot of people that have old homes or whatever out there that could take advantage of this. We've got farmers that could do agritourism, and they haven't really stepped up to that. We've got just so many opportunities here in the county. In addition to just taking our natural beauty and making it more easier for people to access, having driving tours and sort of things where it's so accessible to people so that they know where to go. And we're diving into the international market like crazy. It seems crazy to do that, I know, but the more I learn about it, the government, U.S. government's going after it. You probably see President Trump's announcement of next year's celebration for the 250th anniversary of the United States. He's doing a year-long festival and a fair in Iowa. But we already have a commission in the state of Tennessee that's planning for that festival. And I already know some of the people on that commission. We've talked, and we're going to be part of that here in this county.
We have colonial graves, we've got colonial era
Oh, yeah.
sites here in this county.
Yeah, we've got so much, and we identify more and more every day. And part of our job is to educate those owners out there that don't use it yet, to use it and make it part of our tour. So, yeah.
With BNA getting more, well, now there's going to be 3 direct international flights.
Mhm.
Are you targeting those markets?
That's in the report, and yes,
Okay.
big time. I will talk about that. I've got some really.
Here comes
I
Iceland.
obviously didn't read the report.
That's
I
okay.
just called myself
We haven't
out,
got there
sorry.
yet, right.
I hate even sending it out because I'd rather surprise you with it. But I like the drama, but yeah, we absolutely are. Not the Iceland one.
Iceland's supposed to be gorgeous.
I know, but getting someone from Iceland here, I just don't.
Well, one of the things, so one.
Iceland is beautiful. I was there
Don't
last
knock
year.
it, because one of the things that Icelandic Air does is they actually allow you to kind of have, I don't know if it'd be considered an open jaw on the on your flight, that you can book a through flight to Portugal, let's say, through Reykjavik or whatever airport it is.
Gotcha. Yeah.
They allow you to fly direct, not direct, but just immediately hop on a plane or spend 2 days, 3 days, 4 days in Iceland.
Right, without any
Without
extra.
any extra fees.
Yeah.
Other than what you're gonna spend,
Yeah.
obviously there. But I don't knock it, because a lot of people could do the same thing, because they're very inexpensive
Yeah,
flights.
we'll look into it. We're pursuing the Ireland one for sure, and I'll
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about that. But yeah, my wife did a trip like that to Turkey, where Turkey actually for a period of time paid for you to stay over. They paid your hotel room and a tour. If you just
Wow.
went through Turkey Airlines and spent 1 day there in a layover.
Wow.
Yeah, they don't do it anymore, but
Yeah.
they did.
I wouldn't do Turkey Airlines.
Yeah, there was a time. Anyhow.
They've had issues.
So, any other questions I can answer for you with this respect?
Mm-mm.
All right, very good.
Okay, want me to step out?
Yeah, please, thank you.
All right, we should open the floor for comment.
A motion for that.
Second. I'm sorry, what was that?
For comment, just,
Oh.
yeah.
Motion to discuss.
I have a
Okay.
motion to discuss.
Yep.
I'd like to say that, I think that both of them have great attributes. Very knowledgeable, very smart, lots of innovations, lots of, just blow me away with all the things that they do. And I think they're different, and both are different in different respects, as far as what they do. I do think that Mark, with his coming in as the interim director, in the situation we had, I wasn't sure what was going to happen, and so he kind of, like you said, took the ball running and has actually evolved the department into something totally exponential that I didn't expect, and I commend him for it. I think that he's proven himself. I don't know her. I think she's probably a great one and does a great job what she does. But I think Mark actually has awarded himself that, I guess, kind of like the, some people can go into an interim position and be, and I'm going to direct this to you, just slide by and collect a check and get it together and
Keep things from falling apart.
right, and make sure that the money's in the bank and all that. This guy came in and took it very seriously and did what he had to do, and I feel like he awarded himself, in that respect. So in my opinion, I would like to vote for him, and I liked her, but I think he's deserving of what he's been doing. I really think that he awarded himself that with the job that he did.
She's got a lot of marketing experience. If the job was all marketing, she'd be a good candidate, but it's not. If she were looking for a marketing director's position, I think she'd be a great marketing director.
Sure.
Or maybe even if we didn't have a marketing director, hire her to do the marketing. But I think her almost all of her experience basically seems to be marketing, and this job's a whole lot more than marketing.
Yeah, I agree.
I was really impressed with Ingrid. My biggest concern is more upheaval with the staff at the tourism board. I don't want the county to go through that again. I don't want the staff that went through it to go through it again. That would be what I would be afraid of.
A new director every 6 months to a year is not good.
No,
It's not.
no.
For me personally, I feel like we're in if we moved forward with Ingrid, like, there was a time where we had this, like, as a board, we had to spend a lot more time working on things than was really necessary, and I feel like Mark just came in and picked that all up, and we'd basically have to reinvest more time as a board if we were to make a change. And it has nothing to do with Ingrid's qualifications and everything to do with the fact that, you guys both said it, Mark didn't just come in and hold things together. He came in and he did more than I was even expecting to be done. And not only just more than I expect to be done, he's been focusing on things that I would never even have thought to focus on, which is good. And he's made a lot of really good connections in the community and at the state level as well, and all of those connections would have to be redone.
I've seen him at several different events in Gallatin that I've attended, so I'm sure he's doing the same thing in other parts of the county as well.
Yeah.
So he's trying really to get out there in the community.
Yeah, and he's not just singularly focused on one aspect of tourism. He's looking across the board, and so at any rate, that's my feedback. So I guess any other feedback from the group?
Let me just throw out something. He mentioned, what he's listening to. About 8 years ago, I was talking to a travel agent from Michigan that I met at some place, and she was talking about mystery bus tours, which were becoming a big deal. And I brought it here, and it was like 3 or 4 years before they even started looking at mystery bus tours.
Yeah.
Because her comment was that there were so many people around who've traveled everywhere, and so they like the idea of not knowing where they're going.
Yeah.
And that became a deal about 3 or 4 years ago here, but I mentioned it to him like 7 or 8 years ago, as a possibility. So
Sure.
I'm glad that Mark's looking at different new ideas.
That's great.
I went to their luncheon that they had for chamber people, hotel people, everything. And Maddie and Mark did a wonderful job presenting tourism and the direction that tourism was going. And the people that I was sitting around at that table were very impressed. And they said that it's probably one of the best that they have experienced as far as listening and hearing the direction that tourism wanted to go and how they were going to help them and their businesses and stuff. So it was very impressive.
I'm glad that Leadership Sumner kind of put a fire under Ingrid. 'Cause
Yeah.
It does a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people who go through Leadership Sumner, I guess now they have Leadership Gallatin as well. They get involved in the community afterwards. So I hope she finds some place in the community to get involved.
I was one of the first persons to go to Leadership Summit.
When you were 12, I was 12.
I did it in 91, I think, 90 or 91.
We do like that.
Well, should we have a motion to vote?
I'll second.
All right.
I'm sorry, who made the motion?
David, a motion to vote.
Oh, a
on the
motion to
executive.
vote.
Yep.
Okay.
She seconded.
Okay.
Second
Okay.
motion. Yep. All right. All in favor of Mark?
Aye.
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 Okay. All in favor of Ingrid? All right, very good. Then we'll go ahead and
Does
Send
this
Mark
have to
on
go
to the next-
through,
The county commission will have to.
the county
They'll have to.
commission will have a vote. Yep.
Yes.
Does he have to go to that, or is it just?
No, presented there. when it
Pro
comes
forma.
up.
Okay.
You just tell 'em.
Yeah, he may want, we can discuss that.
Yeah. Okay, very good. All right, well, I'll have Mark come back in then, and we'll move on to the next.
Which is reports.
Did anybody notify Eric that he was nominated to be on the board?
I called him today. He had a hip surgery this morning.
He did?
He texted
Yes.
me at 4:00. Oh. He had a personal day.
I just wondered if he was new.
Yes, but he's at home,
Yes.
probably taking some,
Understandable.
Taking it easy.
yeah.
All right, next is the director's report.
One second, I'm a little flustered.
Can you give him the good news?
Oh, I mean, what was that? Do we need to tell him?
I was just gonna say, can you
It'd be
give him the
nice,
good
yeah.
news?
I mean, he's gotta wait
Don't-
for the
yes,
minutes.
don't get comfortable.
Yeah, he has to wait for the minutes.
And you have to make it through the commission, county
I
commission.
know,
Yeah.
that's the big one.
That's okay. And who's taking that to commission? I just so it's clear. Okay, you're
I
taking.
guess because I'm co-chair.
Mhm. Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not a commissioner, so.
Oh, well, when you finish the minutes, I don't guess we need to vote on the minutes. We'll just need to have something that we.
We need to put
Do
it on
this.
the agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll go to
For the next
legislative.
meeting.
Okay.
Legislative,
Yeah.
yeah. I will take care of calling the attorney's office tomorrow.
Okay.
for that.
As your role as secretary?
Hmm?
In
That's
your
my
role
role as secretary, as long as I'm not signing checks, I'm good with everything.
All right, very good.
All right, to get started, this is the video I was talking about. We talked last week, one of the studies I read is that the big trend is you've heard of FOMO maybe, the fear of missing out. The new trend is the joy of missing out. In other
Okay,
words, getting out of the city and relaxing. So as a result of that, on her own, Cameron, our director of marketing, put together this video, and she posted it this morning within 1 hour, over 500 views. But what was amazing is the number of shares that came off of that. It was extremely high. In 1 hour, like over 15 people had shared it with somebody else. But of those 500 views, 40% were not our followers. That means these were new people seeing it that were not already following our site. All right? So hopefully, I don't know if this is going to pick up sound or anything. I haven't tried it, but we'll see what happens here.
Yes, I would like that. Because that's exactly what I'll do. I'll graduate to the next one. You have a way of doing it. Well, that would be a probably.
Looks like another record.
Just that simple. Yeah.
When I talk to people about coming to Nashville, I say, well, you can hang out in downtown Nashville with 40,000 of your favorite people.
We end up sending a lot of people, visitors down there on their own.
Yes, we all do that.
Get an Uber back. We'll see you later.
Right.
So that is our newest campaign that we're going to, that's just the opening of the door.
Cool.
And we're going to pursue the idea of the joy of missing out and come to Sumner County. So I'm going to skip over some things, but there's some stuff we have to hit. Obviously, the first thing, Maddie did get married since our last meeting. Her new name is McCormick, and we have made those changes on payroll and everything else, but just so you're aware, and they're doing great. They're having a blast. We had all our trees removed at the with the Rogers group that were at risk of falling on the building. It looks great. They removed all the fallen limbs that were loose on all the trees. We also had a lot of vines that were growing on trees, which they removed because vines weaken the trees. So the whole landscape is looking really good right now. We are in talks with them. We have a quote on fixing all of the damage around the framing, the fascia of the building that's been there for quite a while. And we'll work with them on that. But they seem very open to that. And they're doing a lot of good things right now. And as you know, they just started the renovation of the barn. So.
Mhm.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that is fabulous.
Yeah, so they're out there doing that.
Put that in that.
Linda at the Douglas Clark House. Linda is just surprised the heck out of me. I hope this is recorded.
Mm-hmm.
It is, yeah.
I had no idea what we were getting when we hired Linda. She is amazing, and she has taken that house to the next level. And so she has started a new simulated archaeological dig.
Cool.
Where the children can come in there. They have a list of things that they will find that all relate to the Douglas Clark House and Sumner County history. And this program does meet the requirements for Tennessee education and for Boy Scout merit badges. So that's really wonderful stuff. And I have to go out there. I want to dig through the sand too. I was going back through some old emails and I found something that I don't remember who it was. I'll tell you who wrote this.
Angela?
Angela, yes. Govan?
Govan, yeah.
Govan. So I don't know that it's necessarily word for word from legislation, but that when the agreement was made with the county for the Douglas Clark House, it specifies here that we have to maintain a 5-day week. And we can change the hours, I think, the hours of operation, but we have to be open 5 days a week, and we were under a different impression, so.
Yeah, they changed that during COVID, gave some, they relaxed that during COVID, but
Yeah, but I think
was
the
put back
agreement
afterwards.
with TDOT is to not do that. So we're gonna stay with the 5 days a week based on this information here, but I included that for your reference. It does also have some good information about what to do with donations and so forth, which is a question that has arisen. We have a few pennies worth of donation that we have to take care of. So we're gonna handle that in the proper method here. We are in the process of working on building a digital image catalog, which will include video and digital images. Because the ones we have are hit and miss throughout the county. Oftentimes we get things from different participants, whether it's the city or a destination historical site, and the quality is not as good or it doesn't fit our scheme of what we're trying to do. And a lot of it's outdated, and times change, and so we have to reshoot that. And one of the things I've learned going through all these conferences, this conference season, is it is crucial that we have a digital catalog that our partners can work with and just grab and pull information, pull a picture, pull a video, and use it right away.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's something we're going to build. It's an asset that we'll have here in the county that we can use across a lot of areas, I'm sure. Finance. Basically, we had an audit performed. John Poole completed it. Went through the CARS system with the state. Everything has been satisfied. Got an email back saying they've accepted everything. So basically, we're good. And he's already filed that as far as I know, and we're within compliance by the end of the year. So there are no issues. I saw a preliminary report, and we will have him come if you want to the next meeting, and he can give a formal report to the board.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Yeah.
For years, the audit was completed by a company that was very, very, very cheap.
Yeah, well, he's cheap compared to the other ones.
And when they stopped doing audits, they said, expect to pay $5,000.
Yeah, well, the other two companies were about 10 to 15,000.
Yeah, that's ridiculous for the
Yeah,
size of this
so
operation.
we tried to get other bids, but the price was ridiculous. If you follow down there to the next to last bullet point under finance, with our current average balance around $571,000 in our checking account, I recommend we open a savings account with a higher yield interest rate. We are losing about $8,000 to $10,000 a year in interest income. So I need the board to vote on that and approve that so we can open a
You
higher
have to check
yield.
with the finance director to make sure that's legit, that's legal,
Okay.
since we are a quasi-governmental agency, but I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, because you're not, quasi, I guess, but they've never lost their money. They've always been granted their funds.
And it's a.
You don't
We're
go to-
we're
you
we're
don't go
it's
to
also
we're a
jail.
we're a quasi-governmental / nonprofit, which
Mhm.
makes no sense to me, but anyway, that's what we
Yeah.
are.
I'll-
But you might want to check with the finance director on that to make sure it's okay.
Okay.
I'll make a
So,
motion, we do it if it's legal,
So
if we have the
can we
ability to.
motion
to
to do
approve.
it contingent on approval?
That's what I just did.
Yes.
I just said that.
Okay, then I'll second that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Very good. Okay.
Who will contact finance?
I can do that.
Okay. You
Um,
have contact with them?
Yeah, and
Okay,
I
yeah.
can send out an email to the board and let you know the results of that. I don't know if that vote would be sufficient for a bank to allow us to open an account or not, but we can try.
It should be fine.
It should be.
Because we'll have this
You'll
in the
have the
minutes.
minutes.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it'll be documented,
Okay.
and the minutes will.
Can't
say
do it till
it's-
after the minutes are approved at the next meeting, though.
Yes, that's
Because
true.
that's not, the minutes are not
January.
legit until the next meeting, so,
Correct.
Okay.
when they're approved.
Last bullet point there, there's this BOI reporting which was put in place. I've got all the information here. Department of Treasury Financial Crimes Enforcement. It's a new law, and the deadline is January 1st, 25. And there's a lot of emails going around. You may get some as board members saying, you know, if you haven't done your BOI report, you better do it or you're going to be fined and all that stuff. Ignore all of that. We are fully compliant. We don't have to do it. I've given you all the information here, what our exemption is and everything. But don't be nervous about that. We are compliant. Okay? And I've reported here on some of the workshops and things that we've done. I went to the Southeast Tourism Society meeting in Auburn. It was outstanding. You can read the details here. Governor's Conference on Tourism, again, took the whole team, minus Valerie, who held the fort down. Had great discussions with Mark Gazelle and others. One of the big questions that I asked, and that's kind of quietly being discussed under the table, was what happens after ARP? And so there are things in the works. I know he requested more tourism dollars this year than ever has been done before with his budget requests, and they are working on what to do next after ARP. They realize we can't step back. So, I also referenced there that we have completely overhauled our sponsorship process, and that is, all the paperwork for that's attached later here. I attended the Rural Tourism Conference in Union City. Wonderful, again, the governor came, Mark Gazelle was there, Sarah Beth Urban and I have become close friends. She's the president of the Tennessee Hospitality Tourism Association. Southern Living Magazine was there. It's a much more intimate conference because of the rural nature of it, and so it was great to make contacts and to kind of firm up questions I had from the other two conferences. So it was a real good conference season. The Fall Tourism Luncheon we held at our offices there on October 24th. We had representatives from Chambers of Commerce, Government, Parks and Rec, and it was catered by Chocolate Covered Strawberry. We had Maddie give a presentation on what we do and why we exist. And then I gave a presentation on what we are working on and what we're going to be doing moving into the future. One of the big things that came out of that meeting is I expressed our interest in being the umbrella organization for tourism in the county, so that we all as a team are working together under our leadership, whether it's a economic development group or whether it's a chamber of commerce that's tasked with tourism, or whether it's a person in Gallatin that's been tasked with tourism, that we're all working together under our own leadership, whoever it is, and that we can be efficient that way and more effective. And as a result of that conversation, this is the fun paragraph, we were approached by the Historic Sites Group, which has been working under the Preservation Group. And they requested from Preservation to split and no longer be part of Preservation and to have their own entity and to be under our umbrella. So now we will be responsible for all the historic sites in the county in the sense of just leadership and helping them move forward with their marketing and tourism. And I think that's really neat. We had a tour group come through the office on Friday the 25th, about 50 of them from Arkansas on a bus. I've got a picture there of the bus, and we fed them some barbecue. Adam Pope came and played music, and then they proceeded from our place to Grandpa's Opry in Westmoreland.
Cool.
And yeah, this is a repeat group, and they will come back again, they said, so that was neat. On October 21st, that was a very busy week for us. We had a premiere party for the Always a Hero music video for an upcoming motion picture called Was Once a Hero. The movie features John Carter Cash and Robert Carradine, who, those of you who know, played Louis Skolnick in Revenge of the Nerds. Mary Badham was the youngest nominee at the time, 10 years old, and she got an
And
Academy
Scout.
Award nomination in To Kill a Mockingbird.
You're a scout.
Yeah, and she's in that movie as well. And yeah, we had over 100 people there, and we had a live performance in addition to introducing the video for a worldwide premiere. And if you want to see more about this movie, it's actually a real movie. I mean, it's on IMDb, listed as a movie with all the actors listed and everything. It's already been filmed or in the cutting room floor, fixing it up now, editing it.
And it's hit the charts too, I believe, the song.
The song has hit the charts,
Yeah.
And it's
yes.
by a local songwriter.
Yes, a
Yeah.
local
Fine.
songwriter. And I offered them to also host, not at our place, but at one of the theaters in Gallatin here, the grand premiere of the movie itself.
So is
So
that song cut at Vol State?
I don't know where this one was
in
cut.
their
No, this was different, I think.
department? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know where they did this
They
one.
did talk about that during the thing.
I was busy eating.
Yeah, you were busy.
Yeah.
And the video director, Greg Wilson's also Sumner County.
Yes, and that's why we did this. Yeah. We had the Art Guild studio tour, used our facilities over a weekend, November 2nd and 3rd. I put some pictures there just to show what that they do at our facility. And then we hosted Leadership Sumner, had a field trip come through on November 13th, and Maddie gave a similar presentation about the role of tourism in the county and the financial impact and some of the events that we have. So we've been busy doing a lot there. Sponsorships, I just listed, we've only had 3 since October. And if you want to flip to the back of your packet, well, not all the way to the back, you'll see some pages that says tourism grants, and there's a draft there. We have changed the grant process where you have to apply, we only have an application period once a year for a period of just prior to the new fiscal year starting, so we can budget for the whole year in advance. We've changed the focus to encourage new events or events that are really bringing tourism to the county, not just the ones that happen every year on their own. And so you can read through this, but basically we will grant money based on these new requirements. And it's very stringent that they follow the rules. They have to provide receipts. It's a reimbursement grant. It's not upfront. And multi-year requests are probably going to go away unless it's a really good cause, because we don't want people just getting in a rut and asking us for money. The idea is to get new events started and to build them up. So everything's subject to review. You have a question about that?
I do. Have you already put this into?
Into place?
Yes.
Kind of, yes.
Okay.
We did not implement the deadlines for this year. We said they could apply at any time this year, but as next fiscal year, we've got deadlines in there.
Will we need to vote on this as a board? No, or is this just day to day?
I don't think so.
I don't think
Okay.
so.
I love this, but I think there may be places where this is going to hit like a lead balloon, so.
Those places have seen it,
Oh, they have?
Yes.
And they're,
yes.
He presented it at that luncheon.
oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
didn't get to come to the luncheon.
Yeah, thank you for
Well, I
pointing
think
that
I
it
out.
think
makes
it's
sense.
great.
Yeah, I think it makes sense because if it will allow us to plan appropriately,
Mhm.
right? And it puts clear guidelines for what Sumner County tourism dollars should and should not be used for.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, if you look on the chart at the back where the criteria, it's a point system that we will award, so if somebody gripes that they
Oh,
didn't
I
get
see
it,
that.
we
Oh,
can
okay.
see, there's a point system, they can see why they didn't get it.
Oh,
And you can see that the criteria are very important, so,
I also like that it's a reimbursement, not just a
Mhm.
handout.
yeah.
that's what I like the most.
Mhm.
Digital tracking, I've got lots of numbers there. Basically, I can just tell you that we're doing really well. So numbers are going up consistently, increasing across the board. Recently, we had a discussion about, when we were talking about this video being filmed at the office there and the impact of that, having the grand opening, grand release party there. We started talking about videos and movies, and we had a discussion in our little staff meeting about it. And I've worked in my career with movie productions. I mean, I had hotels in Los Angeles, it's hard not to. But, so there is a Tennessee Entertainment Commission website that features a database of locations where people that are trying to film a video or movie can go search for a certain location. So I put on here, this is actually, the Comer House is actually listed. You can see how old these pictures are. These, I think, are pre-1951.
I was gonna say 1950s
Is that what they
kitchen
are? All I was thinking
and a
is that,
1950s bathroom.
is
Yeah.
this kitchen, this is not, so this, I was
Yeah.
just thinking that kitchen looks fantastic. It looks so clean.
Yeah, well, it's the same way now because
Oh,
Valerie
it is?
cleaned
Oh.
it. But,
It's not white cabinets though, I'd love to see
yeah.
them return to white
But it's,
myself.
anyhow,
Do we still have the bathroom like it is?
yeah, the bathrooms
That's
are all like
definitely
that.
1950s bathroom.
Every bathroom's a different color. You should come take a tour sometime.
That's my favorite one.
But,
I haven't thought about I guess I've seen the turquoise bathroom.
so, with that in mind, Expedia Group Trends and Travel Report said 66% of travelers said movies and TV shows have influenced their travel choices.
Oh, wow. Hey, can I ask a question about this real quick? Sorry
Yeah.
to backtrack. For the Tennessee Entertainment Commission database, how would Sumner County residents who think they might have a place that would be interesting, how would they go about, like,
Well, you go on there for free and list it.
oh, perfect.
But I'm gonna tell you how we're gonna actually go after them. Because
Okay.
we want to attract some movies here.
Okay, good. Well,
So-
you may or may not want to come to my house.
There's a lot of music videos that are done in Gallatin.
There are,
There really
and
are.
we have a list of them
Yeah.
that we've been compiling, but, so it just so happened that same week I met with Mayor Page in Gallatin, and she has a person, Jenna Landstrom, who's their tourism and marketing director, who needs some work to do. And, so we agreed that we would work in combination with Jenna and start identifying locations in Gallatin that could be movie locations and getting them listed. So we're gonna work together to do that. That's the starting point, but we're gonna go from there and expand out throughout the county. And we're gonna go to people that own properties and say, hey, have you ever considered this? And get them listed.
Years ago, when my husband and I owned the Depot Square, they did a movie there. It was and they used the bar that was down the street, and they had scenes from the movie, and it was either that or it was like a TV series. But they used that, and they were here in town for like a whole week.
Yeah,
And of course, they all stayed and had buses and stuff, but they actually, that's a great place. I know they manufacture doors there now, manufacturing, but they have the open room there where they do events. And that is a very historic building. It's,
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
The restaurant I worked in California was a scene for a movie, from a Japanese movie.
Yeah.
there you go.
And they were there all day long filming. And when you looked at the movie, it was like a 15-second
Yeah.
seconds.
Yeah.
But I mean, the man that owns the depot now, he's a great guy, and he's easy to talk with.
Yeah, so there's big money to be made. If you remember the movie Wayne's World, I know nobody here watches it.
Absolutely.
Party time,
The
party
scene
time.
where they're driving down through a downtown and they pull up next to another car and say, do you have any Grey Poupon?
Mm-hmm.
That scene took 2 weeks to film. They stayed at my hotel and we made over $1 million from that scene. Yeah. So.
Their
there's-
budgets are unlimited.
There is
yeah.
money to be made, yeah.
What was that other guy's name? Not Mike Myers, but the other one.
Dana Carvey.
Yeah.
There you go.
I kept his registration card, I have it.
Registering
Yeah,
a
he's the
hotel.
one playing Biden now.
Yes.
So that's that. Project Possum is moving forward. The recording, I believe, is almost completed, if not done. It's being edited now. Vince Gill has signed on to do some liner notes for the album cover. And we are in the process of talking to the state and to the Opry again about getting them on stage, getting them on radio, but the project's moving forward very well. One of the things that we rolled out, I'm trying to watch our time here, to the group that came to our office to kind of the state of the tourism industry here is the concept of service edge training. That I want to put out there a certification program that we will go around and it's very high level training. If you can, instead of just like service means smile at your customer and be the first to look at them, that kind of stuff, that's the basics, and most of the companies that are out there teach that already. But this is more about psychological aspect of service, thinking outside yourself, considering other people's needs before your own, things like that, and doing a very brief training and providing that free to any business in the county. And that will do two things. One, it'll bring them into the tourism world, into our office, and help promote what we do. And two, it'll allow us to go out there. Now, there's a program like this. It's not why we did it. I found it by accident after the fact. But in northern Alabama, they have flawless service, and they have things like this, and they have the service pineapples, flawless service, and they have a training program similar to this. And I didn't know about it, and I went to the conference and ran into them and found out they have it. We're not going to use their program because it costs money, but I'm going to develop a program like that and go around and promote this. And so anyone in the county that wants that can put the sticker up that says our employees have graduated from this, or they can put on their name tag or whatever they want to do. So it brings the county in tighter a little bit from the tourism aspect. And the natural flow of that then is to do the Service Edge Champions Awards Banquet next year, where people can nominate people for outstanding service experiences, and then we can honor them at that banquet. So,
Is your plan to have the Hallmark, our Sumner, our star? And
yes,
okay.
everything will have Sumner tourism.
Yes.
Yes. Just putting on here that I met with John Rose's office. They want to get involved with what we're doing here. They're excited to see it. I put another report in here about the evolving role of experiences in travel. So you could see kind of some things that are out there, and then it gets into the tourism grants and pretty much it. So to answer your other question about air flights, we did find out about the flight from Iceland. And I don't know anybody that's coming here from Iceland, but we'll see. But a week later, they did announce the flight from Ireland. So the day after that, we reached out to Aer Lingus, who's the airline doing it. And we have been trying to reach them and negotiate with them to help them co-sponsor our Irish festival.
Cool.
Because that festival is 2 weeks prior to their first flight.
Iceland, everybody speaks English, so
That would be easy.
it's not a problem, because nobody speaks their language, so everybody
Yeah.
speaks English.
So we are hoping to expand the
that'd be
Irish
cool.
Festival into a 2-day event, because 1-day events don't fill hotel rooms.
Right.
So we want to do a 2-day event, possibly even 3 days going into Sunday morning with some classes. But we'll see how it goes, but if we can get their sponsorship, that will be a much bigger.
Oh, that'd be
event.
amazing.
Classes.
Teaching Irish dance, Irish music,
Oh.
Irish
I make Irish
language.
soda bread, come on.
Oh, well, a little bit of salt.
That'd be cool.
a little bit of dirt.
So I think that's pretty much everything. Any questions I can answer for you?
No, everyone wants dark tourism though.
Yeah.
Okay, dark tourism, I'll go into real quick. We felt the same way. I was like, okay, I'll listen, but I don't know about this. Dark tourism has nothing to do with demons or evil. It is simply, people are interested in cemeteries, lantern tours,
Okay,
places
sure.
where crimes have occurred. Do you have ghosts? Everybody asks, that's the first question they ask at the Comer House, where are the ghosts? So this is becoming a huge industry, a huge part of the tourism industry. There's a group, and I didn't bring the brochures, but they were in, what's that town up there, do you remember?
Oh gosh, it's on the tip of my brain.
Oneida and.
Oneida.
Oneida.
Oneida, and there's a town right above it. But there was an old county jail.
Scott County Jail.
Scott County Jail.
Okay.
And they acquired that, kind of similar to how we have the Comer House. The county bought it, and then they gave it to these guys, and they have a commercial operation there where they do tours, and they rent it out for people to come spend the night.
No.
And they made
In the jail?
They made $65,000 last year at that facility.
The jail, the county courthouse used to have a jail at the top floor of the county courthouse used to have a jail, the jail.
So they are organized, they've worked with this, they moved to another, Oneida has a whole historic district that's famous for ghouls and ghosts, and people come and tour that as well, all day long as a museum, and then at night they do the dark tourism. And they have release forms, they've got a lawyer on staff, they got everything you need to do this properly, and they have approached us to say, we'd love to do some things in your county, and because you have all these great historic sites. And we said we would be glad to talk about it. So at the next historic site meeting, who are now under our umbrella, we're going to present this to them and see what they think, because these are
You could do it in cooperation with the Galvin Cemetery Tour and the Beach Cemetery Tour.
Yeah.
Well, I will speak for our church, we would not want it to be on the ghoulish side.
No, it's not at all.
No.
Okay.
It says very positive. In fact, it
Right.
said when they went in to present this to their county board or whatever, it said most of them are deacons in their church, and they thought for sure they were gonna get kickback. And the way they presented it to them, it was, everybody voted yes. So, and it's been a very positive experience.
The Galvin Cemetery Tour has been around for like 22
yeah.
years or so, and the first year it was done, I was actually president of the Historical Society at the time, and I've suggested it to them, but, because I'd gone to one in Nashville, but, there were a lot of, this is desecration and all kinds of, I ended up writing a couple of letters to the editor about it, because it was a great idea and it's been huge.
Yeah.
And ours has grown. I think we had 100 more people that came this year than the year before.
Yeah.
And I think it's great because I don't think we're the only two cemeteries. You could, however you would
Nashville's
market that.
Nashville's
but
got a big one. It's for they do Confederate. They used to do Confederate.
At the Confederate
Yeah.
Cemetery.
Yeah, they used to do a big one there. But Gallatin's got a. There was a murder in Gallatin that there was a book written about,
There you go. I'm sure there's tourists coming.
and so there's stuff like that.
I
all
mean,
the
even
time.
going to Johnny Cash's grave is considered dark tourism because they're going to a grave.
To a grave.
So it doesn't have to be like evil. It's not at all. It's very
No.
positive.
You need to talk to Kenneth Thompson, the county historian, because there is a lot of really cool.
He's our buddy.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We love Kenneth.
There's a lot of cool stuff at the Gallatin Cemetery.
Yeah.
It really is.
And we won't try and step on any toes in the sense of what's already been happening, but we hope to grow it and open some more areas up, and possibly even the Comer House, we'll see. But Valerie and her cat.
Do you have a name for the ghost?
Apparently, we have a black cat.
Do you have a name for the ghost at the Comer House? Because there's supposed to be one.
Mr. Comer.
Mr. Comer, okay.
Yes.
Mrs. Comer, I think, is
Miss-
more prominent than Mr. Comer.
Okay.
Yes.
It's what we've been told.
Yes.
She has been seen at the top of the staircase.
Yep.
She
Anyhow,
needle points.
yes, but it's all positive and it's all peaceful. So that's dark tourism. We will report more in our next meeting.
Actually, sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next tourism board meeting, January 21st.
I will be out of the country.
4 p.m.
I'll be in a boat somewhere in the North Sea.
That'll be exciting, though.
in January.
You can call in. Yeah, go ahead.
Tracy, would
Yes.
you like to speak for a minute? You've got like 2 or 3 minutes. Could we let Tracy from
Sure.
Westmoreland speak for a minute?
Yeah, and it was funny that you said something about you don't expect people from California to move to this area. I've been talking with a family from Nevada that has moved to Westmoreland, and what happened was they come to Nashville, to tour Nashville, go, listen to some music. And she's very outgoing, the lady that I've been speaking to. And she said, back home, I smile at everybody. My husband tells me to stop waving and stop smiling. She said, I did that when I got here to Nashville. And she said, everybody was waving and smiling back. So she said, I told my daughter, she said, this is where I want to move, because they were looking to move somewhere away from Las Vegas area. And so she said, we looked around, Nashville area was way too expensive. We come this way to Sumner County, and she said, when we hit Westmoreland, we knew we were home. And so now, her and her husband, her daughter, and her family are all living in Westmoreland now. And they both, the mother and the daughter, have businesses and have joined the Chamber of Commerce. And we've had several conversations and everything. So that's a little bit about that. The tourism board, thanks to the tourism team, they put Grandpa's Music on one of the tours. It had a little write-up about it in the packet. There was like 50 people come in on a bus, and the house band played for them. And it was really neat. I mean, I did a video on it. We wasn't able to get it up tonight, but I do have a video on it, and it's on the Chamber, Westmoreland Chamber Commerce Facebook page is where it's at, and it just links over to our YouTube page.
Good.
So everybody had a blast. I mean, the people, there was a lot of them that told Virginia, the owner, they said, we would come back. They live in Arkansas. They said, we would come back through here and stop on a Saturday night, to hear the music and everything here. they were talking about how nice and polite and, you know, down to earth everybody was and how much they loved it. And that just made my day. Just made my day because I'm really, really trying to grow Westmoreland. And a good thing. As far as I can see from records from last year, before I come aboard in February, there was only like 32 members of the chamber last year. We have 81 right now. 81. And I just got another member today. And so it's growing, and hopefully we can get some money and get some things done. We're working hard I'm on the Parks and Recreation Committee too. We're working on getting our baseball fields, our softball field, our soccer and all that. We're working to renovate all of that because it's all in such a bad shape, and it's kind of embarrassing for, you know, our kids to go somewhere else and they're like, well, why can't we have something that nice, you know? And so we're trying to you know, make that better for them.
Well, y'all get it fixed, and Hendersonville will be happy to let you have some of our hotel motel traffic.
Oh. They don't have a hotel in Westmoreland.
No.
Yep.
Don't
If
get
you
one?
build it, they
Not
will
yet.
come.
Yeah.
Like, several years ago, there was actually somebody looking at building one, but they fell apart.
Okay, all right.
But we're
I'm sorry.
growing, and
No,
four houses in that Pleasant Grove Farms
Yeah, I just drove through that the
development.
other day. It looks
Four
good.
houses are sold. So, you know, it's
Yeah.
coming along. It's looking good out there.
Well,
Okay,
good.
I'm sorry.
No, that's great. Welcome.
Thank you.
I can't wait for it to be final. All right, well, we will go ahead and motion to adjourn.
Can we look at talk about the financials briefly?
Sure.
We'll take a little bit of dive, it looks like, but not much. In September,
Is that the normal
Talking
period
about,
though?
talking about tax collection?
yeah.
Yeah, we're 12.5% ahead of last year though,
Yeah.
at this point.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, there was a little bit down in September, it looked like. But that may be because they haven't posted it yet, because they sometimes get a month behind.
Yeah.
And they don't post everything.
We're pacing ahead of last year.
A lot of the hotels don't post when they don't send in their money when they're supposed to.
Yeah. And the new Echo Hotel is gonna open probably just before Christmas.
Which one?
The Echo.
Oh,
Where's
yeah.
that?
The one on the border of Hendersonville and Gallatin.
Oh.
Where they're off the freeway.
I didn't know about that one.
Right off the 386.
How many
Yeah,
beds is that one
it's an
again?
extended stay property. What?
How many beds is that one again?
I think it's like 126?
I think
Okay.
so.
Yeah.
Good.
It's good sized property.
Hmm.
Yeah, it'll be real nice. It's a Wyndham brand.
Oh,
Oh,
gotcha,
okay.
okay.
Anything in the balance sheets, the P&L that we need to talk
Nothing
about or look
unusual.
at? Nothing unusual?
No.
How is the insurance working out for everybody? Who all is taking insurance?
I don't think anybody is right now, are they? Maddie is?
You
maybe?
talking about like medical? and-
Health? Yeah,
we
uh-huh.
are, yeah.
Are
Maddie
you?
and I both, yeah.
You both
Yeah,
are?
Cameron
Okay.
opted out because she's still under her parents' insurance, but Maddie and I both are.
Yeah.
And did the prices go up too much, or is everything?
No, actually,
Okay.
I think we saved some money this year, didn't we? Seems like,
If we did, I think it's only because we've only got 2 people, so.
yeah.
Oh,
But,
okay. All right.
yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm. Motion to adjourn.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Cool, thank you.